Alright, let me make this video quick because my face itches so bad I want to get this shit off. And I've been wearing it for hours. Because if you know me, I work at a theater. And I wear costumes for every big movie that comes out. And this is the one I chose to do. And it is very... Just... What am I doing? So I saw Smurfs! That's right! Smurfs came out. Did you know there was a new Smurf movie? Apparently not. Because... this movie's gonna flop hard this weekend. Well, I say hard, but it costs like $58 million to make. It's gonna make like $10 million, but who knows what it's gonna make internationally? So probably make its budget back somewhat. But that's not great. I'm sure they want this movie to at least make $100 million, right? I'm not doing the hat off. But yeah. I'll be honest, I was not excited about this movie. I thought the trailers for this movie looked pretty abysmal. Some of the worst marketing I've ever seen for a movie, next to Ghostbusters 2016, Pixels, and the Emoji Movie, which all three of those were put out by Sony. Like, what the fuck? But, you know, like, the trailers advertise a lot of live action parts of this, which I thought we learned. Live action's bad for this. Like, let's not do that again. We did that once. And then it advertised a lot of, like, modern jokes, a lot of modern lingo, like influencer smurf and shit. And then Uber, and some of that's in the movie. Some of it isn't, or at least if it was, I don't remember seeing it in the movie. But we'll talk about that more when we get into the negatives. But it really, like, showed you the worst side of this movie. When you watch this movie, it's not that bad. It's not good. It's like a 5 or 4 out of 10, somewhere in between there. It is the best way to describe this movie is it's a movie version of the 80s cartoon that's just a little bit more modern. Some of that more modern works out for the best, and some of it doesn't. So, like, in the 80s cartoon, for example, like, let's start with the good. Like, for example, Smurfette didn't really have a character. Here she's a little more spunky, has some fun attitude to her, right? Rihanna, who's not a great voice actress, actually gives kind of a decent performance, adds something to that character a little bit. I still think someone else who's a better voice actor probably could have done a better job, but she does add something to it. So, courtesy there. The main plot line with the character of Magic Smurf, or I guess as he's called, No Name Smurf in the movie, and him trying to figure out what his identity and what that is. I guess I kind of spoiled like what that is, but if you're mad I spoiled a Smurfs movie, I think you have some bigger issues to work out for yourself. Like, holy shit. But yeah, like that's a pretty clever character arc. Like, it has, like, that's the more modern storytelling that you wouldn't see in the 80s cartoon. The less modern stuff is like the fantasy stuff, the stuff that, you know, them traveling to different places and weird creatures. Felt very much like 80s fantasy stuff that you would see out of the other cartoon. Because in the other Smurfs cartoon, people forget that a lot of those episodes would also feature other magical creatures and stuff. And you see that a little bit in this movie. So, it's kind of fun. I like that part of it. Like, I actually got sucked into the adventure of this movie. I wouldn't say I was, like, super majorly engrossed, but I can imagine if I was a kid who really likes Smurfs, I'd be super engaged. Now we'll start with the negatives. First negative with this movie is I'm not really sure if you don't know Smurfs how much you will get this movie. Like, all the other Smurfs movies kind of give you the basic premise. They kind of recap a little bit of kind of what the Smurfs are. Here they don't really do that. Gargamel's like their main villain. He's not really used in this movie. He's just kind of a background guy for gags. And the other villain in this movie is like Gargamel's brother, and it's a little bit weird. And then also, like, you know, if you don't know Smurfs, you're not really going to want to watch a movie without Papa Smurf, because Papa Smurf's like the most famous one. So, I don't know. Like, I'm like, okay. Oh, another positive I should mention before fully getting into negatives. John Goodman was actually pretty decent as Papa Smurf. I actually thought that was a smart casting decision. But yeah, like it just was like okay, I don't know how much a kid will like this movie who doesn't know Smurfs. I don't know how much an adult will. An adult definitely won't care for this movie. Honestly, if you're an adult, pass on this movie. At least in the theater. If you watch it at home in the background, maybe you'll be okay. But like, it's not really worth your time, so I wouldn't even recommend that. But anyways, get on to the further negatives here. The other thing in this movie that I should mention is like I mentioned, there is the modern humor in this movie. I don't remember the jokes about influencer Smurf, but again, they could have been there and I just don't remember. But every time there was like a modern joke about Uber or like referencing a pop song or something in the movie, it was very out of place and random. And it felt like either the characters in the movie wouldn't know what that is, or the fact that they do is just so wrong for these characters in the movie. It's just bad all around. Also, the live action stuff is very bizarre. Because, first of all, none of the humans in the movie, you ever see their face. It's a lot of, like, the live action stuff being set dressing, and I think a lot of it was to save money. Right? This movie cost like $58 million. All the other Smurf movies cost significantly more. They made more money than this one, per se, but that is, like, kind of bizarre that the live action features and these things were so big in the marketing when they aren't actually a major feature here. And I think that's what hurt this movie too, is why this movie's going to fail, is that the marketing was bad, and then if it had been better and advertised the correct part of this movie, maybe it'd have a shot at doing a little bit better. Also, if they just made a little bit fucking better of a movie. This is not like a strong, interesting movie. It's very passable, very watchable. But, you know, in a summer where there's so many fucking movies, you're struggling to keep up, why waste your time with fucking Smurfs? Alio. Go check out that if you haven't seen that. Not this shit. So, Smurfs, it exists. It's out there. Yeah. Also, the last thing I want to get is spoilers. So, spoiler alert. Papa Smurf is a dick in this movie. First of all, he lies to all of his. There's a trope in media that I really hate about, like, the wise leader lied to protect you, and then there's some tragic backstory. There's no good reason for a leader to lie to you, for the most part. And I mean, there are individual cases, I will say, where it's kind of acceptable, but here it's not okay, and like the way they go about it is just straight up bad and makes Papa seem like kind of a dick. At the end of the day, movie was very much a very acceptable, watchable movie that you should not see, because it's nothing more than just watchable. Let me know your thoughts, like, share, and subscribe. Will you be checking out Smurfs? Did you? What are your thoughts? Again, don't. If you haven't, let me know your thoughts.